Hi there guys, this video I am replying to a question sent by someone asking to redesign his database. I won't redesign the database because it contains a number of tables. However, I'm gonna summarize most of the steps needed to design the database. Okay, and I will just demonstrate that with an example. The same technique can be used to design any database. And by the way, this is not the best way to do it. If anyone wants to design database very well, they need to read about designing or about the data model, relational data model, and how it works. So before we start, usually you have two types of relationships. The first one is one-to-many relationship, and by one-to-many relationship I mean that there are two tables. Each record in the first table contains a number of records in the second table. So let me demonstrate that. Here I'm having this database. I'm going to create the first table. This is going to be the ID number. This is going to be name, p name for person name, and this is going to be the primary key. Save that. And this is going to be people. Okay, so we have the first table contains the ID of the person, Smith to Michael. Okay, so you have this table. Obviously the primary key here is the ID, which identifies each row. The second case is that you have a table that's using the primary key of this one. So what we have here, this one is gonna save the phone numbers. Each person could have one or more phone numbers. Okay, so here PHID for phone number, this is gonna be number. PID, this is the person identification number, and phone is gonna be text. Save that. Or you could make these two the primary key. It's up to you. Anyway, so I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna say these are phones. Okay, so now we have the second table. We can say that the first phone number is for the first person. In this case it is 0 whatever, and the second phone number is also for the first person, and the third phone number is the second person, and the fourth phone number, and this is the fifth phone number, something like that. Okay, so you have these two guys, or these two tables, sorry. Okay, and this is the primary key, and it's being used here as the foreign key. Okay, to show you that, let's database tools, go to relationship, display these two tables, close. So the ID here is being used in here. So the ID in the first table, which is people, is being used in the phone table. It's the PID. You select enforce differential integrity and say create. Okay, I have an issue here. I need to close the tables because the wizard will prevent me from saving the changes. Okay, so as soon as you say create, look at this. Here you have the number one, and here you have infinity. It means each record in this table could have one or more records in the second table. So this is basically the first type of relationship. This is a one-to-many relationship. Okay, this is a one-to-many relationship. Now the question is, how do I reconstruct my data again and show the information? Well, usually you do this through making queries. So I'm gonna create a query Okay, you add these two. Okay, and you want to display the person name and the phone. Okay, I ignored the IDs and the keys. If you run this, you can see that this is Smith, the numbers, Michael's, and his numbers. It's as simple as that. So this is the one-to-many relationship. Okay, very simple, very straightforward. Now let's go back to our example. So you have one-to-many relationship and use the key in one table and another table. Okay, the other type of relationship is many-to-many, which means in one table or you have one person who have multiple, let's say these are let's say you are talking about people using the car. Okay, and in the same home you can have multiple people using the same car, and or a single person having multiple cars. So what happens that you have this kind of relationship. A single person could have one or more cards, or is using one or more cards, or one car could be used by one or more person. Okay, so this is what they call many to many, and you cannot create many to many relationships that easily. You can only create one to many relationship in a relational model. So this means you'll have to create a third table, and that table has one to many relationship on one side and one to many relationship on the other side. Okay, and I'm going to demonstrate this also very quickly. So here, let me close this, let me save that. It's gonna be link people and phones. Okay, so now I'm gonna create the other set of tables. Okay, so here we have car ID. This is going to be number. Car color, for example, I won't put name because I'm too bad at that. So this is obviously the primary key. Save that. This is going to be cards. Okay, so let me show you this. This is the first car. The color is red. The second car, blue. Third car, green. Fourth car, yellow, and so on. Okay, and also for people, put number 3. You have Todd. Okay, so we have 3 people here, and now we want to link these two tables, creating many to many. So you come up with a third table, and here you have the ID. This is going to be number. Car ID, this is going to be number as well, and both of these columns will be primary keys. Saved. Okay, so let me just okay, so when you fill the information here, for that let me view the update the relationship. So show tables, want to display the cars table and people car. Close. So what do we have? Okay, I'm gonna do this. Okay, so I'm gonna drag this, drop it here. Oh, wait a minute, cancel, this won't work right away. Okay, so drag the ID here, create, and drag the ID here, create. So this is what they call a many-to-many relationship. Okay, so one person here could have multiple copies, could use multiple cars, and one car can be used by multiple people. Okay, this is how you do it, and this explains this figure. Okay, so let me demonstrate this by filling some information over here. So one could use the first car, and one could use the third car. Two could use the second car. Three could use the first car, and three could use the second car. Okay, so I have filled some information. You might be asking also, how am I gonna display the information there? Okay, well, it's not difficult. Let me show you again. You create a query. Where is the query? There's the query. We display the three tables right here, and the wizard will reconstruct the relationship for you. It's already there, but you know, it's gonna create things for you. So you want to display the person name, you want to display the color for the car that person is using, or the color, the car information with the people using that car. So you can see Smith is driving the red car, and Todd is also using the red car, Smith is using the green one, and so on. So this is how you create a many-to-many relationship. Now, given these examples, reconstruct many-to-many, whatever. Let's go back to our figure. So I am gonna explain this again, but this time on this page. Let's say you have a table called suppliers. Okay, you have some kind of project. You have suppliers who supply a number of parts, and you are gonna use these parts in your projects. Okay, so in this example I'm gonna use only suppliers and parts. Okay, it's gonna be something simple. Now you might be asking, why do you use the primary key and foreign key, and what happens if you don't use the primary key and foreign key? And here I'm going to demonstrate what's going to happen. So first of all, in order to store the information of the suppliers and the part they provide, you might have something like this. You have the supplier name, you have the supplier address, and the part name for that supplier and the specs. So here you can see Smith is in the UK, and he is supplying bricks, window frames, and cement, and here these are the specs. And you have Todd in USA, and he can supply you with window frames and cement. Okay, the first thing you will notice is that you can see here this is a single row for this person. However, the details of the parts contains multiple rows. In a relational model, you cannot create such you cannot store such kind of information. The database always store one row. It does not allow what's called a repeating group. So you must create a complete row. So here you will sort the information like this: Smith in the UK bricks, something like that, Smith in the UK window frame, something like that, and so on. Okay, and the same goes for Todd. So imagine if a person is supplying 100 parts, you will have to repeat that person information 100 times. This is the first problem. The second problem is that what happens when you update Smith's name. In that case, you will have to update this table. Okay, what happens if you delete a record? Deleting a record, do you mean you want to delete Smith's record, or do you want to delete the part here? So it's gonna be a little bit confusing when working with such technique. But basically, the most confusing thing, or not the most confusing, but the most important problem is repetition of data. You are using databases in order to efficiently store your information, and one way to achieve that, or the important thing to achieve that, is that you want your database to prevent repetition. You can of course store your information like this, but you will be repeating the information again and again and again. Okay, so what should you do? Well, usually you break down your information into separate tables, and basically what you have here is that if you think about it like this: a single supplier is capable of supplying multiple parts, right? Because Smith can supply bricks, window frames, and cement, right? Toad can supply window frame and cement. And the reverse is also true. A single part can be supplied by multiple suppliers. For example, cement can be supplied by Todd and Smith. Okay, so this is basically a many-to-many relationship. Okay, this is a many-to-many relationship, which means you will have to split this into 3 tables. Okay, so how do you do that? What are you gonna do is this: you'll have a supplier ID and supplier name and address, and here I use these faces to distinguish the person. So this will be for Smith, this will be for Todd. That's a little bit sad, I don't know why. Anyway, if you have a look at the second table, which is parts, you have these. This is a brick, this is for cement, this is for window frame. Okay, now linking these 2 tables is also also done by the same technique. Again, you will ask yourself, does each supplier supply many parts, and is it possible for each part to be supplied by many suppliers? The answer is yes. In that case, you will use a 3rd table which will link them together. So here you use the primary key of the first table, you use the primary key of the second table, and you use that. That's all. Okay, so here you write 1-1, which means Smith is supplying bricks, and 1-2 means Smith is supplying cement, and 1-3 it means Smith is supplying window frames, and so on. And when you want to reconstruct your database or your original information, which is this one, okay, all you have to do is create a query very similar to this one. This is a query, and the end result is something like that. Okay, so now given this example, now I'm gonna talk a little bit about the emailer's problem. So what he is trying to do, let me open Word. Where is the print layout? This print layout. Okay, so maybe I need to page width. Okay, there we go. So let me display a new page. Okay, so what he has is some kind of police database, and he wants to store the information. Now if you think about it, he has a number of things. I won't write the design, I will just explain what's happening. Okay, so what he has a number of crimes. Maybe I should write it before drawing anything. You have information regarding crimes, you have information regarding criminals, you have information regarding victims, you have victims, you have information regarding cards, you have information regarding witnesses. Okay, so you have this information, and his problem is that he's repeating the information again and again. It's the way the information is being stored is a little bit similar to this one. So think about it this way: each crime could have multiple criminals, each crime could have multiple victims, okay, and each crime could have multiple witnesses. In that case, this means you have one-to-many relationship between crimes and criminals. You have one-to-many relationship between crime and witnesses. Okay, this is at first. If you think about it again, you will find out that a criminal could commit multiple crimes, right? And a single person could be a victim for multiple crimes as well. And it is also possible for a witness to witness multiple crimes. Okay, and the same goes for the cars being used to arrest those criminals, right? Which means when you want to design the database, you will have this table, and this table is to store crime info. Okay, so you have a table to store crime information, you have a table to store a criminal information, you have a table to store victim information, and you have a table to store car information, and you have a table to store witness information. Okay, and so on. Now, how do you link these? Well, you don't link all of these using a single table, because you will end up repeating the information again and again. You will need to you will need to create a relation, a one-to-many relationship. So here, I think it will be better if we put this one in the center and then think about it like this. So wait a minute. Okay. CRC. Okay, and what happens is, let me just remove the name. And this is another one. Okay, so I'm doing this because it's a little bit easier. Let me go to insert. Anyway, putting a line here, order sent to back, you know, you get the idea, I guess. Order sent to back, order sent to back. Same goes here, sent to back, and again this one, order sent to back. Okay, so the empty boxes are actually many-to-many relationship. It's this table. Let me show you. It's like this table in the middle that is used to create many-to-many relationship between these two one-to-many relationship. Okay. So what happens now is each crime has a many-to-many relationship with the criminal information, and each crime has a many-to-many relationship with the victim information, and each crime have many-to-many relationship with the car information, and each crime has many-to-many relationship with the witness information, and so on. Okay. In some cases you will have one-to-many relationship, in some cases you will have many-to-many relationship. It depends. So this is basically what you need to do, and in each one of these blank boxes you will need to store the crime information ID and the victim information ID. For example, here the crime information ID and the car information ID, and here it will have the witness information ID, the car information ID, and here the criminal information ID and the crime information ID. So this is how you create this is how you design your database. Again, to understand this more, to know how to design the database more efficiently, you need to read a little bit about the relational model. Hope you'll find this useful. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye bye.